Now, New York elected a socialist mayor, and within days, he's now facing $100 million lawsuit. Yes, leaked documents, businesses freezing expansion, and a TV host calling him a communist Jesus. I'm so serious. Let's walk through how all of these clips connect with one simple truth. New York isn't being lied to. It's being socially engineered. Roll the clip.
So, you just made a major move. It's a bigger move than Letitia James. And you're going after Zohran Mamdani, Mamkami. How are you going after him?
Zohran Mamdani is a racist. He hates white people, and he has officially put on his campaign website, and now being the mayor-elect, he's talking about taxing white New Yorkers at a higher rate than other people simply for the color of their skin. The only problem with that is there's something called the Civil Rights Act, and there's also something called the 14th Amendment, which guarantees equal protection under the law for all Americans. And so this racist, this anti-white racist is going to feel the constitutional long arm of the law come back and slap him now and try to see how he can run from his own statements he's made and the plans he's planning to enact as mayor of New York City. This is ridiculous. It's really egregious. And every New Yorker, every white New Yorker that voted for him, what were you guys thinking? How could you do that?
Yeah, Zohran literally said, I'm going to want to tax white people. Right, we're going to pay for these social programs, all this free handout garbage with the money of white people.
And realize there's a policy proposal that says your plan, and I'm going to quote it for folks, is to shift the tax burden from overtaxed homeowners in the outer boroughs to more expensive homes in richer and whiter neighborhoods. Explain why you are bringing race into your tax proposal.
That is just a description of what we see right now. It's not driven by race. It's more of an assessment of what neighborhoods are being undertaxed versus overtaxed.
It's ridiculous, right? It's going to be the white neighborhoods he goes after to fund all these programs. So what exactly did you do today?
Well, we've actually served Zohran Mamdani this $100 million lawsuit. My organization, Federal Watchdog, has filed this in the Southern District of New York. And it's crazy because in his own acceptance speech, he thanked, Yemenis bodega owners and Uzbek nurses and all these immigrants, but he never mentioned the white New Yorkers that built New York City, the Irish, the Polish, the Italians, the Jewish people who are the backbone of New York City. And he has specifically said he's going to steal the wealth out of those neighborhoods and give it to all the EBT card holding, all the social program and social welfare holding, Black, Spanish, Muslim New Yorkers that unfortunately do not go to work every day, but rely upon these socialistic, opportunistic programs. And this is heinous. This is exactly how you get a massive exodus out of New York City. I can't believe we're living in days where the people, the white Americans that built this great city of New York, are now becoming second-class citizens. It almost seems like like a new civil rights movement. White New Yorkers are now forced to sit on the back of the bus. And this is kind of like a Rosa Parks scenario again, where white New Yorkers being discriminated against have to stand up for themselves and demand justice.
Okay, so $100 million is what you're seeking. Are there any other parties to this lawsuit, or is it just you as a native New Yorker? Because you're a native
New Yorker and landowner in New York. But what makes this really interesting is Federal Watchdog, my organization, is actually opening up this lawsuit. And we have just put together a website. You can go on fedwatchdog.org and you can sign up right there. If you are a New Yorker and you're a homeowner or you live in a white neighborhood in New York and you're worried about you being taxed more simply because of the color of your skin, please sign up on our website. We're opening this litigation up and going to turn it into a massive civil lawsuit where anybody can join in to make sure that your rights are not infringed upon by this radical invader Muslim extremist.
So Jake Lang isn't suing for attention. He's suing because Mamdani's own words outline a tax plan built around race and not math at all. When leaders start saying these neighborhoods pay more because they're whiter, you're not running a city anymore. You're running somewhat of a social experiment. And while Some people are lawyering up. Others are actually cheering for this. Let's roll it.
So apparently the mayor of the United States of New York, Mamdani, is already facing some scrutiny behind some leaked documents and what they contain in terms of his plans for New York City. Newly leaked documents reveals that New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani plans to terminate all city contracts with companies tied to Israel, as well as pull city funds from banks that finance the Jewish state. Is Zohran making the United States of New York great again for me already? Already. All fucking ready. I love that man. Now, anybody who is familiar with Mamdani understand that these kind of plans is right on brand. It's on brand, okay? It reflects his long-standing advocacy for Palestinian rights, as well as the criticism against the occupation of the Gaza Strip. And this is precisely why they did not want that man to win. This is precisely why they did not want that man to win. When they asked him that question on where would you go during that debate, and he refused to say the blue state. Instead, he said, I'll stay in New York City. When he refused to do that, they already knew that he was coming after them. And then as the new mayor-elect, his first stop was in Puerto Rico. I loved it. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I loved it. As a New Yorker, this makes me happy. This makes me happy. Do you know what I see when I think of contracts ending for Zionist companies and companies that have Zionist interests in mind? You know what I think of? I think of the housing market in New York City opening up. I think about more affordable housing. I think about, you understand, being able to actually maybe have a business, own a business. The likelihood, the possibility of me being able to do that, it increases when there's less of them here. So I'm happy. I'm happy that the mayor that I voted for is, in fact, you understand, trying to put together these type of plans. I'm happy. Cut all the contracts and all the funding from any of the banks that support that fucking state. Well done, Mamdani. Well done.
Y'all see the divide? One New Yorker hears race-based taxes and thinks that's illegal, right? That's the common sense approach, if you ask me. The other hears the same thing and thinks, good, push them out. Maybe we will get more because, we got more white people out now, or Zionists, or however she put it. That's not policy. That's resentment dressed up as progress. And resentment needs structure, not ideology. Well, it actually does need ideology. It needs a movement, brother. And get myself together. Which brings us to clip 3.
Omar Fattah is a DSA, a Democrat Socialist of America candidate, meaning he's using socialism and Marxism and communism as his vehicle, not just to undermine the Democratic Party, which they want to do, but to undermine our country, to overthrow the American empire. And Ilhan Omar endorsed him and campaigned for him and defended him despite his shady background. Omar Fattah is not just a DSA candidate, which is a disqualifier in and of itself. He doesn't just have ties to a radical imam who is associated with jihadist ideology. He's not just been defended by an unindicted co-conspirator in the largest terror financing case in our country, all disqualifiers in isolation. He also has an extremely shady background. He was caught engaging in shady electioneering behavior, whether it was campaign finance violations or defense of a financially fraudulent scheme to get money from the federal government during COVID in the name of helping immigrants, but actually it was just a money laundering operation. This is Omar Fattah. And this is one of those moments that I have been ruminating about for the last 2-3 weeks. This is one of those plots that's happening before our very eyes that hasn't yet fully come to fruition. But 20 years from now, we're going to sit back and we're going to wonder, how did all of our cities become overtaken by Islamists? How did we turn into London? You look at what Sadiq Khan has done to London. You look at the Islamification of Britain right now. It's about to happen here. Zohran Mamdani should be the wake-up call.
Now, I don't think Liz is fear-mongering. She's showing the pattern. The same faces, the same networks, the same democratic socialist branding. Every city, every election cycle. It's not random at all. It's coordinated. New York isn't drifting left. It's being pulled. And when ideology comes first, money leaves first. Watch.
Going to leave entirely, but you're definitely not going to add any more restaurants here under this new leadership. Why do you take such issue with the new mayor?
Currently, we had 3 leases ready to sign in October. Upper West Side, Upper East Side, and West Side Midtown to expand Diner 24, because we were the first to bring back the 24-hour diner post-COVID. Because remember, all of them closed, and we brought back the 24-hour diner, and it really was such a success. We wanted to open 4 altogether just in the Manhattan area. But, when I start hearing uncertainty and I start hearing, defund the police and a lot of uncertainty in the small business areas of what I'm hearing this upcoming mayor campaigning on, we like clarity. We don't like guessing. So right now we're just like a sit back and wait and see if he can pass some of these things that he campaigned on, because we're not going to open businesses in that climate.
So if not in New York City, where else might you open more business?
Well, we have 2 diner leases ready to go in Miami, where I am right now. And we have plenty of capital to expand because the business is doing so well, and I believe there's a need for a 24-hour diner. But when you get to that $20 price point, people don't, the politicians don't understand it because they never ran a lemonade stand. But when you raise minimum wage to $30, at that point, that $12 hamburger becomes $22. And it's not going to work when you're in the fast casual business where the average ticket is $15 to $24 a person. That's basically a nail in the coffin. You're out of business. And all I say to the mayor, upcoming mayor, is, and actually he's quite impressive for a 33-year-old, but he's never run a business. He's never run a small business. And to me, I think he needs to open the doors for dialogue or debate with small business owners like myself and other restaurateurs and other small business owners to open dialogues. I think the best thing for all of us is a better New York City. And I just think his policies, his socialistic policies do not work for small.
Well, this is how cities collapse. Not overnight. One business at a time. People with jobs don't just wait, or businesses too, don't just wait and see how it goes. They leave. They take the investment with them. They take the opportunities with them. As this post suggests, yikes, NYC may have cooked itself. And while New Yorkers are losing diners, customers, workers, and tax base, the media is out here building Mamdani as a halo.
And I belong in that building. Trans socialists in Idaho? Sounds like a long shot, but communism spreading faster than TDS. Seattle just elected Zohran in a pantsuit.
I want everyone in this great city of ours to have a roof over their head. I want universal childcare and free K-8 summer care. I want social housing. I want much more land and wealth to be owned and stewarded by communities instead of corporations.
That's Katie Wilson. Like a true socialist, her parents helped pay her bills. But CNN wants to set her up with a new sugar daddy, the destroyer.
Have you ever met him? Have you talked to each other at all since either of your victories, which are so important on Coast to Coast?
Not yet, although I certainly hope to.
Uh-oh, AOC is going to be jealous. Katie won her race and went straight for the picket line, boycotting one of the biggest companies in her city.
While baristas are on strike, the baristas have shared that the best way to show our support is not to buy Starbucks in solidarity.
So she's from Seattle, and she's against Starbucks. Well, she's about to get crushed by Big Bean. Mamdani's not buying any more macchiatos either. Baristas are picketing for better hours and more cash.
Understanding lousy pay, that is how your coffee's made. Understanding lousy pay, that is how your coffee's made. Shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. My neck, my back, my paycheck is whack. My neck, my back, my paycheck is whack.
My neck, my back, my paycheck is whack. The head of the teachers union saw a boycott and jumped in front of the camera.
It is a barista's lived experience. It's the lived experience of those of you who are protesting on behalf of our baristas. It's the lived experience of parents and subway drivers and child care workers. That is who makes our country run.
But customers are still crossing the picket line to grab their lattes. The boycott didn't put a dent in sales. Liberals are trying to pull one on Target, too, because they have a new policy. Workers have to smile, make eye contact, and be friendly to customers. I thought that was standard. MSNBC is calling it racist. White managers may actually think that a black person isn't trying to be genuine and smile when they really are. Whites can't tell when blacks are being nice? I think we can. There's a link between workplace whining culture and the rise of communism. Lots of overeducated liberal arts majors woke up and realized the world's passing them by. Their degrees are kind of useless, and they're doing worse than their parents. They were coddled and told they were special their whole lives. But it's hard to feel special when teens are bugging you for iced frappuccino in bear cups. You're 35 and mommy and daddy are finally cutting you off. You're in debt and can't live off leftover croissants anymore. So it's time to eat the rich. Because Democrats won't build new housing or power plants or prisons or mental institutions or walls, which might help a brother out.
Now, here's the bigger picture people don't want to say out loud. New York didn't just select a mayor. If you ask me, they just elected a project. Every clip you just watched is a different piece of that project. In clip one, I showed you the legal structure cracking, because when a leader plays with race-based politics, the law steps in. And in clip two, I showed you the emotional side. People who want fairness, or people don't want fairness, rather they want, revenge. Opportunity at any cost, even if it means tearing the city in half. In clip three, I showed you the ideology, the network pushing this worldview in every major city, selling it as compassion, but building it as control. Also shows you the consequences, businesses freezing expansion, jobs evaporating, the tax base shrinking, the economy quietly stepping out the back door, basically. Lastly, I showed you the narrative. The media elevating a politician into a symbol, a savior, a cultural figure you're not allowed to question. So from where I'm sitting, man, it looked like it's about power for the left. It's about what it's mostly, it's about creating a city where the people who produce, invest, and build are slowly outnumbered and outvoted by the people who depend on the system. Whoever controls the system controls the city. This is just insane. We're watching replacement, not replacement of people, replacement of values, systems, rights, norms. City held together. However, if you made it to the end of this video, I want you to put I don't have anything to put. Like, I just woke up literally like 30 minutes ago. No, about an hour ago, because it took me about 30 minutes to do this. I don't have anything. Put replacement, because that's what we're watching. We're watching New York be replaced. Yeah, I'll be safe. Go check on a friend today. I'm gonna wake up some more and get my thoughts together. As you can see, I'm still loading. But yeah, be safe. Go check on a friend. Quite literally, be safe in their life. Peace.